let's start take it back to the end of last season. A lot of ups and downs last year, but one good thing that you guys did have a lot of younger guys got a lot of experience last year. What was kind of the note you left it on with the guys when you guys kind of packed up at the end of last year?
Well, it was you always hate to end your season with a loss, although almost every team does. But I was proud of the way our kids responded. I thought we really came together as a team and as a program towards the end of the year. I thought our seniors provided really good leadership. I thought we made some really good progress. It seemed to all come together, even though we had a lot of injuries, a lot of setbacks, some disappointing losses. But the final thing was we have to continue to improve. I thought we improved last year, but it wasn't enough to be a really good team. And I thought, hey, this is a step in the right direction, but we must continue to improve. We must continue to get better to get to places where we want to go.
You got kind of a unique opportunity in the summer. You got to kind of practice with the guys and everything before you took a trip out to up to Canada to take on Lakehead. What was kind of the general impression you got early going, just seeing some of the new guys and how the team interacted with each other?
It was a very rewarding experience. I was really pleased with how the guys came into shape, how they responded to the off-season workouts. I thought the 10 days of practice were really beneficial for us. We had kids sitting out last year for transfer reasons. We had numerous kids sitting out for injury reasons, and that was a mini season in and of itself. And I say it was last year. So take a guy like Brett Irvin, who did not play at all. We tried to pack in last year into 10 days of practice and a couple of games. And you really don't know how a person's going to respond. And a guy like Pierre Newton sat out last year and from a transfer situation. How is he going to respond? And I thought a lot of those guys did really well. They kind of picked up where they left off. They started where we thought they would be. And it was a real promising experience. On top of that, it was a great team bonding. I thought the guys really worked hard. I know they had some fun in between the practices and some of the events that we did around campus. And I thought we grew as a team, which was really good to see.
Let's kind of dip into a little more specific on the roster. You have a few seniors this year, a little more than last year, and specifically bringing back Brett Irvin, who was the preseason player of the year last year. Also, specifically Reese Zoli, who has, from my perspective, improved every year and really become kind of a go-to scorer for the Bulldogs, especially last year. What kind of leadership are you getting from the seniors this year?
I'm getting very good leadership thus far, and part of that is this is year 3 for me. The kids understand where I'm coming from. I understand their personalities, so now we're all going in the same direction, which is a huge positive. In addition, we're a better basketball team now that we have Brett Irvin back. He makes me a better coach. He's a very skilled player. He's recovered from his knee injury, and he gives us a post presence that we had not had in the past. Reese is a very experienced NSIC player. He got off to a really slow start last year, and then from about January on played really, really strong basketball, and I think he is very comfortable in where he is at and his spot in the program, and his leadership has been good. A guy like Christopher Jackson last year set out numerous games for a foot injury, was never really healthy from the first time we played Crookston way back in early December through the entire year. He is now 100% going into his senior season, which is very exciting to see. So we got some really old kids who understand where I'm coming from and what it takes to win in this league, and that's more than half the battle. It's just understanding what it takes, how are we going to get there, what do we need to do, and I'm confident that these guys finally understand that.
All right, kind of on the other end of the spectrum, you got your whole junior class is guys that are new, at least in terms of playing. Pierre was around last year, but how are those guys fitting in so far in that first week or so of practice, plus any other interaction you've had with them?
Well, they fit in quite well. We've had a good season of preseason conditioning. They were not able to go on the Canadian trip because of NCAA rules. So once we got back from the trip, we started September 15th. We've been going for about a month, and they've jumped right in. They fit right where we thought they would fit in our recruiting process. You know, it's interesting. Last year we were a very young team playing a lot of freshmen. I remember going at Winona State, we had 9 guys dressed and 6 of them were true freshmen. We've completely flipped that card around in 1 year. Some of it was by pure luck, a guy like Brett coming back for a 5th year. Some of it was by design. We now have a guy like Pierre, who is a 4th-year junior. Brendan Pineda-Morales is coming in as an older junior college player. Taylor Lavery is coming in as an older junior college player. You add Brett, you add Reese, you add KJ. We're a very old, experienced team, which is, you know, a coach's delight, something to really have some fun to work with. So, you know, it's a different team than last year, as everyone is will see right off the bat. We're older. I think we're more experienced. It all comes to how well they can all gel together and how well we can get off to a start, which so far I've been very pleased with.
All right. You know, the rest of your returners, I know a few of them will be redshirting this year because they weren't able to in their first year, but is there anybody in the kind of sophomore class that you think is going to still be making an impact this year?
You know, most of them are redshirting. You know, they took an opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity to redshirt going into your sophomore year. Typically people redshirt their freshman year, and I've always believed that it's hard to redshirt when you really don't know what you're up against. And you know, a guy like Lane Olson, Jake Wilson, Garrison Glard, they all had an opportunity to play quite a bit last year. It was certainly a trial by fire. I thought they responded very well for as young as they were, and you know, they all had glimpses of playing really strong basketball towards the end of their freshman season. With us being older, with us having a lot of experience at a lot of different positions, it makes sense for guys like them to redshirt and kind of let the older kids filter through while they gain experience, you know, gain more maturation, which will certainly help the program and help them as we go down the road. One player who is not redshirting out of that class would be Trayton Daniels. I think he has a chance to you know, see where he can get crack into the lineup, see if he can find some worthwhile minutes. He spent some time up here this summer and worked very hard. It's going to be challenging, but he's a guy that has an opportunity.
2 in the freshman class. Will we be seeing any of them make an immediate impact, or is it something we'll maybe see their spots when it comes to them?
It's really hard to say. On paper, I guess you know, without hurting a kid's ego, you hope not. You hope a freshman is able to just come in and learn his way and figure things out. But you know, I'm hopeful that they'll all come in, work hard, adapt to the system, and much like a guy like Lane Olson or Jake Wilson or Garrison, pick and choose their spots and their opportunities to find a way to get into the lineup. But with the older group that we have, it will be a challenge for them. I think they know that going in. I think they're prepared to come in and work hard every day in practice and kind of take their lumps and gain some experience. And I'm very excited about the freshman class. We brought in some really good size, and Derek Magnuson and Brody Jackson are some really good size kids. And then we brought in some kids that can help us on the perimeter. A guy like Kyle Shallow can play multiple positions, shoots the ball really well. So I think that you know, the future is bright, but we're looking 2-3 years down the road for these guys, and this is a great opportunity for them to come in without a whole lot of pressure, learn the system, get acclimated, and certainly find out where they can improve and help the team.
Sure thing. Let's kind of dip into the schedule here. You're starting the season with a couple measuring stick exhibitions in a way, playing Notre Dame and Minnesota, both Division I teams, and then eventually to play Green Bay a little later in the season. What goes about scheduling a tough competition like that and, for an exhibition games?
There's several components to it. It's a rewarding experience for our team. Certainly we do get some media exposure. It's an opportunity to play against the best. You know, we're jumping up a division. playing a team from the Big Ten, playing a team from the Horizon League, playing a team from the ACC. Those are the who's who of college basketball as far as conferences are concerned. And obviously with our athletic director Josh Burlow being a former Notre Damer, a Golden Domer, he was able to provide us the kind of the foot in the door to get that game at Notre Dame. And I know that'll be a fun experience for our kids to travel there and play someone that you see on TV all the time. That's a unique experience, something that our kids will be charged up for. And then obviously to go down to the barn and play Coach Patino's team. Won an NIT championship last year. I think he's got an up-and-coming, really strong program. It'll be a very big challenge for us. They're running, they're pressing, they're all over the place, highly athletic, something that we may not see a whole lot in the NSIC, but again, a great experience for our kids, and certainly an opportunity for us to measure where we're at in this particular area of the season against the greatest talent that we can find.
All right. Your non-conference schedule, a lot of the similar local teams. You're playing UWS, Northern, Michigan Tech. Also heading down to Southwest Baptist for their tournament. Any tough challenges here you seeing from there, or what are the tough challenges about those teams?
They're all extremely challenging. We will play anyone, any place, as long as we can afford it, or as long as we can find it in our schedule. Obviously playing UW Superior, it's the bridge battle. It's important for this Twin Ports community in basketball. It's something that we'll always continue to do as long as UW Superior is willing to do it. It's a great opportunity to have everyone in the Twin Ports support basketball and watch both their teams. From there, Parkside, NCAA tournament team, Michigan Tech, NCAA tournament team, Northern Michigan, a team that's on the rise, all Division II opponents, all will count towards our NCAA tournament hopes and our dreams, and those are the teams that you need to beat, and those are the games that you need to play well in. In addition to that, traveling down to Missouri, we are a little bit handcuffed in our location in the NSIC. We're the furthest school east, and pretty isolated up here in the north. So to play teams out of the Missouri Athletic Conference and play teams out of this Great American Conference down in Arkansas, we're going to have to travel. Yeah. And the NCAA has made a rule that allows these two games to be exempt. So instead of playing 26 regular season games, we get to play 28. That's very important, again, as we try to manufacture our NCAA hopes and put a resume together that's very worthwhile and worthy. So we have to travel down to Missouri and play these games and hopefully represent the NSIC and our school well to give us an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. And those games will be hard.
Well, last but not least, tipping off the NSIC schedule, November 29th against St. Cloud State. Obviously last year NSIC was kind of up and down. We were really good at home at the start, and then kind of got into a tougher run there. Where do you see the Bulldogs standing this year in the NSIC?
It's really tough to say because each team always brings in new guys. I do know that Mankato is the top of the league. They have all their kids returning. They recruited well. They have several transfers, several high school guys. They're going to be very, very good on a national level. From there, I think there are a lot of teams that can compete with Mankato and hopefully challenge them. For us, we were able to beat everyone in the Northern Division last year once. We swept a couple teams, and quite honestly, we didn't fare too well against the Southern Division teams. We didn't compete well against Southwest. We didn't compete well against Mankato. We didn't compete well against Augustana. So those are areas that we certainly have to improve. The key to playing good NSIC basketball is winning your home games, trying to win your Northern League games, and hopefully playing well against the South where you can split a few games and put a resume together that's worthwhile. As we talked earlier, I'm very excited about our team. We're old, we're experienced. I think we have some depth, but we're going to have to play every single night in and every single night out. There's no nights off in the league. There's a lot of new coaches in the league this year, so there's going to be a few unknowns that we're going to have to figure out. And I'm confident that these guys will do it and put a good season together.